Savitri has to do, Savitri has to work on the past, because it is buried there, that evil is buried deep in the past, on the deepmost past, where things have started coming up. The occult fire must burn in it, in that past. The splendid fire, burn to cleanse it, that past has been purified. The evil is there, that past has been purified. It cleanse it of all the dross, the wrongs, burn to purify, so that it becomes spirit charged. The potential that is locked in it shall then start emerging in the past. The potential that is locked in the past, they will start coming. Agni Pavaka, Agni is the purifier. She has to burn there, she has to lit that, kindle that fire in the past, with the deeply buried memory coming back. Memory of the earliest events, earliest things that were there at the beginning of beginning. Savitri is saying two things. What does she say at the origin of things, at the beginning of time? What does she say? Two things. She sees that the inconscient born disputants, the three goddesses, earth and love and doom, the giant figures wrestling in the night, she sees them with the awakening. They have awakened to struggle and the pang divine. See, it is they who are now seeing the pang divine, earth and love and doom. It is they who are seeing the struggle, who are experiencing the pang divine. See, these three, awakened to the original creator's pang itself, they are feeling that, well, after all, this is the pang of the original creator himself. Being divine, this pang being divine, undoubtedly that pang is there with a purpose, functional. The pang is functional. It is designedly there. It is for a certain purpose that pang is there, designedly there. It is there in the process of inconscient manifestation. If it has to come out from inconscient, it has a purpose to serve there. The awakening of earth and love and doom, not to their pang of inconscience, but to the pang divine, is already something momentous. You see, that these three disputants are awakening the pang divine, the God himself is feeling the pang, and they are now experiencing that. So that is something already very remarkable, you see. These goddesses awakening to the pang is a great early advance in the interminable progress of evolution. Evolution, you see, of evolution. The progression that has to pass through ignorance and suffering and falsehood and evil, and hence a pang in the transcendental enterprise. This is the enterprise of the Supreme Himself. They have to pass through that, you see. Savitri also sees the godlike pain staring into space. So she sees that these three goddesses are experiencing the pang divine. What does she also see? She sees godlike pain, God of pain himself staring all around here and there. She sees two things. You see. Actually, we might read that passage, the original. It is good to read that. 2.35. All came back to her with the memory awakening. All came back to her, earth and love and doom. The ancient disputants encircled her like giant figures wrestling in the night. So, as far as Savitri is concerned, she sees all the three and they are encircling her. That is for Savitri. Then what happens? About these giant figures? About these goddess, these giant figures. The goddess from the dim inconscient born. These three are born from inconscient. The goddess from the dim inconscient born awoke to struggle and the pang divine. It is they who are awakening to the struggle and pang divine. You see. Pang divine. And so that is as far as the goddess are concerned. And then next moment. And in the shadow of her flaming heart, at the somber center of the dire debate, a guardian of the unconsoled abyss, inheriting the long agony of the globe, a stone still figure of high and godlike pain, stared into space with fixed, regardless eyes. So Savitri, with the awakening of memory, she sees these three goddesses. She also notices that these goddesses are experiencing the pang divine. She also sees that the godlike pain himself is staring into space. A stone still figure of high and godlike pain stared into space, his fixed, regardless eyes that saw that pain, that saw grief's timeless depths, but not life's goal. He does not see that godlike pain, God of pain, sees grief but does not see the goal of life at all. So that is in that context we are seeing here. Savitri also sees the godlike pain staring into space with fixed, unseeing eyes. Eyes that see the timeless depths of grief but not the goal of life. This godlike pain is the inheritor of prolonged agony of this mortal creation and also the guardian of the unconsoled abyss. The unconsoled abyss. He is guarding, this God of pain is guarding this abyss of darkness. The infinite, what is that abyss? The infinite hollow with which has the spirit plunged, into which the spirit has plunged. That infinite hollow is a kind of valuable treasure house and needs to be guarded, and that is being done by the God of pain. This treasure, this infinite hollow is a kind of a treasure house and has to be guarded, and this God of pain is doing that. This godlike pain, the God of pain, he is indeed the God of bliss himself, who is seated in the infinite hollow, in this void. It is he who is seated in this God of bliss himself. His thirst for bliss is insatiable and remains unappeased. So, howsoever you may feed him, he remains unsatisfied. He, waiting for the daily oblations of Savitri's unwept tears, she is making a sacrifice constantly to him, and he is not satisfied at all with that. Unwept tears, the mute grief she has been holding in her bosom. She is holding that grief because it is a cosmic grief she is holding in her bosom. Savitri's offering of unwept tears to him has to go on. She must constantly worship him. This God of pain, she must worship him. Has to go on and on until the goal of life is seen. He does not see the goal of life, the God of pain, but unless he sees the life's goal, she must keep on offering her tears constantly. It has to go on and on, hoping for the God of pain getting appeased. Savitri's daily offering of her tears, her ceaseless, uninterrupted sacrifice to the God of pain, uninterrupted sacrifice to the God of pain is entirely in the context of the fierce question of man's hour. Man's hour. She has to relive that question in herself, relive in order to get an absolute clinching answer. It is a question of this dreadful mortality which severely limits his spiritual prospects and opportunity. He is man's. His limits his spiritual prospects and opportunity. That question needs to be answered. With it, the moment of truth is arriving for Savitri. She is offering, sacrificing, constantly worshipping that God of pain. He is not happy at all. He is not happy at all. Because the fierce question of life, unless that is tackled, he will not remain satisfied. She is engaged once more in the sacrifice of suffering and desire. So this God is not happy with all that worship and all that. Therefore, Savitri is again engaged in yajna. She is making herself an offering in a yajna. See, this is the most important thing. This power of yajna is what you see here. We have seen earlier also in the end of the first section that there was the consecration and the rite and the yajna, and it is because that yajna was an invocation for the Supreme to come as an avatar, and therefore he comes here Supreme. Now here Savitri is making a yajna of her life itself, you see. Because this god of pain is not happy, and the power of this yajna is that she will get an answer and things will start changing. This is what we see here. She is engaged once more in the sacrifice of suffering and desire, that sacrifice which earth continuously offers to the immortal ecstasy, to Ananda. Earth is constantly offering, but earth's sacrifice, earth's worship is not bearing fruit. It will not bear fruit unless Savitri takes it upon herself, unless Savitri identifies herself with earth and does that yajna of earth in herself, in her own soul. This god of ecstasy will not respond. So Savitri is in fact identifying herself with the sacrifice of the earth. She is engaged once more in the sacrifice of suffering and desire, that sacrifice which earth continuously offers to the mortal ecstasy, to the god of bliss. With Savitri, that sacrifice began again beneath the eternal hand. So that is the whole beauty. Savitri is, this god of pain is not happy. Savitri is making an offering, but now that sacrifice is done under the hand of the eternal himself. So that is the magic moment. That is the transforming moment. In other words, Savitri's sacrifice, Savitri who has identified herself with earth, her sacrifice taken over by Savitri, that sacrifice is now in the hands of the Supreme himself. Supreme has taken the possession of the whole thing. The eternal hand now has taken the possession of the whole thing, you see. Earth continuously offers to the immortal ecstasy, to the god of bliss. With Savitri, that sacrifice began again beneath the eternal hand. Through her, the eternal hand itself has taken charge of everything now. Yes, Savitri has no worry now. Eternal will do now everything. The eternal hand will carry forward everything. The hour has arrived and must be capitalized. The godlike pain, god of pain, guards the abyss of darkness, but he is also, in a way, the promoter of the possibilities of the immortal spirit manifesting in mortality. See, he will not allow things to happen unless every bit is taken care of. He is guarding that thing. Immortal spirit manifesting in mortality. Like life alone is not sufficient to make that big transformative progress. And there is needed the crucial participation of death. See, the yajna cannot be carried forward unless death participates in that. Life alone cannot achieve that thing. Death must participate. He is a help. He is a help in a certain sense. Death in that sense. That life alone cannot do it. Help is it. Help coming from the inconscient itself. Death from that, you see. Inconscient. He is worshipped, but that worship touches him not, touches him the least. He, the god of pain, keep on worshipping. I don't care about it. Unless I get the full share of my worship. See. He is worshipped, but that worship touches him not. He remains absolutely firm, obdurate. His unshakable concern is to guard the abyss of darkness, so that every bit of darkness is taken care of, you see. Nothing is left there undone. He is one who guards the origin of grief, guards that nothing is left undone in the work of the God of bliss. God of pain cannot be satisfied. He wants to be conquered, wants to be transformed. A higher force must show him who he really is, God of pain. God of pain is an immortal and he cannot be destroyed, he cannot be abolished, he cannot be removed. He is an immortal after all. All that can happen is he can get transformed, but not destroyed. Destroyed. He has to be transformed. He has to be what he was. That is the transformation. The God of bliss. He has to become the God of bliss again, you see. Here in the inconscient, the void, he has become the God of pain. He has to be transformed into God of bliss again, you see. The mask he has borrowed from the void must be pulled off his face. That's the whole thing. Savitri comes to this point because of the body's pain, the body's ache. It is that which has made her aware of all these things. The sense of the physical heightens the existence of the primordial ache, the sense of the physical, the body which is demanding that thing. She, the deep and lingering ache in the body makes Savitri aware of the presence of the God of pain. All thanks to the God of pain. What kind of intensity it must be, the body's pain. And Savitri is to bear that pain. Savitri alone can bear that pain, see. And it is she alone who can bear it in the depths of her luminous calm. You see, in spite of all that, she is always calm, brightly calm. She is never disturbed at all. That never goes away from her. The harshness of this God of divinity forces Savitri that nothing worthwhile and enduring can really advance. Nothing can advance unless he, the God of pain, is turned into the self of bliss. No real progress can occur unless he is turned into God of bliss. Into God of bliss. It is for it that the life, that her life, Savitri's life, becomes an altar. Savitri's life becomes an altar and herself a sacrifice. That is the yajna. Savitri has made herself now a yajna. Sacrifice. Nothing can be accomplished without sacrifice, without yajna. Nothing. Savitri sets herself to do it. See, this is the most important event. She sees the God of pain, not satisfied. The hand is there, but unless God of pain is transformed into God of peace, nothing can happen. And in order that that happens, she is now making a sacrifice. She has lit the yajna fire, kindled the yajna fire.